Hi, it's Ronnie, and welcome to 14 Days of Christmas, hosted by MK and Janet. And this is the photo I'm going to scrap today, and it is a little bit bigger than usual. And the paper, well, I'm still using 49 to market several different collections now. Um, this is just a matte chalk paint. And I'm only putting it on the bottom, but I'm going to end up splattering it later. Now, there is a window frame in the Holiday Wishes, I think it was, collection. Only when I put my 4x6 photo with it, it was too narrow and too tall. And so it wasn't working out. Then I remembered that the Naturalist by 49 Market, it had a window frame too. However, I didn't remember it being quite this big. So I had to print it at 5x7. And it just barely works. I mean, barely. The bottom part really does not have any tape that is touching the photo, although I had put some on there before I added the photo. And the top part, the only part that's touching is the sides there, the curved uh, crown of the window. But it ended up working, so I'm glad of that. But it takes up a lot more room on my layout. I thought about just using the window as is. And, you could see her behind there. But I didn't really like it because you couldn't see her as good. And so I decided to use it as a template. And I took a pencil and went around the inside and outside and then cut it out. And I used cardstock, but then I put some wood grain paper that seemed to really close to match the window frame, but the grain was going the opposite way. I could turn it the right way, but then this paper had an arrow on it, and I didn't really want the lines of the arrow on there. So I decided that I'd go against the grain on it, and I really think you cannot tell that once I got done. There is enough on there hiding it that you can't tell it. And I put foam tape on the ones on the side, the actual window. And of course you can tell I'm using it like shutters. And then the other part I put straight down. And the reason I did that was because the photo didn't fit well enough. I would have loved to have had it shadowed a little bit and stood up, but you could see the top of the photo and the bottom of the photo when I did that because, it was away from the edge. I picked several things out that I wanted to use on the layout, and these blue looking leaves were still in the uh, laser cuts. Yeah, the laser cuts, and I thought, well, I'll pick all them out and use them on this layout. And my background paper is the Alina collection, and it's a blue, so it really went real well with this. I am cutting apart the laser cuts. I didn't want one big long, see how on the left hand side there is one big long piece? I didn't want that, so I am cutting them apart. And on my last layout, I used the Sizzix wreath die cut, and I cut darker green and I cut lighter green out when I used it. And I used the lighter green on my layout that I did last, but the darker green was still sitting there to the side. So all I did for this layout was add some paint to it and let it dry, and it matched closer to the leaves that I'm using on this layout. And the poinsettia, of course, were from the cut aparts. I don't think they're, I, I am not sure. I don't think there was any in the die cuts. They were in the laser cuts. And the laser cuts and the cut aparts. I am filling in on both sides. My favorite is not symmetrical layouts. I like to do asymmetrical, but I thought about putting this whole thing down towards the bottom right and then put a little cluster or something in the upper left. But then I finally decided I'd go ahead and center it and just do the two shutters on the side and decorate them, but not decorate them identically. So everything is going to be a little different on each side. And the left side, when I go back to take the photos, I do add, well, it's one branch, but I cut it apart into three pieces and added to the left side so there would be more hanging off the left side, because there definitely is on the right side, because I started out doing it that way. And even though it's not symmetrical, I still wanted to fill in that empty space to the bottom left there. And oh, I guess I could tell you about the photo, huh? This is of my great niece Isabella, and it was on her birthday, but her birthday is December 13th, so there was Christmas things done on her birthday too. There always is. And my granddaughter Hope was born the same day, so they are the same age. And Isabella was 4 here, and I thought about doing this picture several times, but I couldn't decide how I wanted to do it. It's not your usual picture. And I'm going to forget to put my title on till after I put those sprigs of green on. So, yeah, it is before the photos. I did take a set before I thought of the greenery. Yeah. So, uh, it's not the first set of photos, but it does have my title on there. My title is Just a Little Peek. Isabella is on her tiptoes, and it looks like she's peeking. But I thought about putting, from that song, I Saw Mommy Kissing Santa Claus. That's it. I thought about putting that, but I decided just a little peek instead. I'm using one of the chipboard tags, and it's going to hang off the bottom there. See, the bottom shows well, it's not exactly wood grain looking. It looks like it's cracked paint, how well, you can see it, but when I went to ink it, I made it too dark. So I wanted to cover the whole thing up. The top part blended in much better than the bottom part. So it is going to get covered up with that tag and some greenery and some snowflakes. So yeah, it'll get covered up. And that circle there has the word love this. And then there was a banner in there that says a wonderful life. So I'm putting the banner on there so it'll be love this wonderful life, and I'm covering the A up so you can't see it. And I think I kind of covered the W up a little bit too when I do my splatters. Yeah, it happens sometimes, but I think you can still read it. I think wonderful is about the only word you could come up with when you look at it. But while I am adding flowers, greenery, and snowflakes, I had to look to see if there was anything else. Just three things, really, I think. While I add them to the layout, I want to mention that down there below you'll find the links to MK, who is Some Assemblies Require, and Janet's channel, which is Galaxy Girl Creations, plus a bunch of others. Some will be doing it every day, and some will be doing it when they can. So far, I am 10 for 10. Oh, so tickled. I love it when, when I manage to get that done. But yeah, lots of Christmas ideas. I'm not going to say layouts because not all of them may be doing layouts. They might be doing maybe Christmas cards or a decorative project, So, but yeah, Christmas is the theme, and they can also do winter too. So you might find a variety of stuff down there. I am got to the point where I'm adding the snowflakes, and some of them I am cutting them in half so I can tuck them in where I want to tuck. And yeah, I want to tuck here and there with the snowflakes, plus just add a few that's kind of scattered around it. And uh, then I'll be done with my layout. So I am getting close. And as I mentioned, I'm going to splatter some snowflakes in place of actual snow uh, around the layout. And of course, that's not a mercy tier or recommendation because of the fact that I have birds on my layout, two of them. But I still like white splatters on there. And um, yeah, I'm just tucking everything in here and there now. I did use my random bunch of snowflake dies, and I pulled out, if you look over there to your left just a little bit, a little snowflakes punch, and so I could have a few more of the smaller ones. I do have them in die form, but uh, there's not as many small ones when I go to cut them out. And if there are, I go ahead and use them first. And I did cut a bunch of snowflakes out ahead of time, but yeah, I got down where I didn't have quite as many small ones because they were my first choice sometimes. I am cutting some of the bigger ones in half and tucking. I think I mentioned that already. I am not sure. I had to back up here. My computer kind of froze up. And when it crashed, it didn't save everything. So I had to redo. So if I say something twice, sorry. Um, I think that is. Oh, I put that's I as I mentioned, I put cardstock behind the wood grain paper just to make it a little sturdier. And the this is a cutout from the cardstock one, not the wood grain one. So I went ahead and put it on the photo because I'm adding that glitter snow from Aleene's, and I'm trying to get on the top of the windowsill, and like if there's a frame over there on the shutters, I'm trying to put it on the top there so it looks like snow's falling. And then I'm putting some here and there on the flowers, greenery. I don't think I put any on the birds. Let me look. Nope, I did not put any on the birds. But I did put some on the little lantern. So it is going here, there, and everywhere, including right there below the window, just to make that more three-dimensional. I When I was putting this, well, my mind went blank. The chalk paint on there, I knew I was planning on putting some of the glitter snow on top of it, and that way I wouldn't have to use as much of my glitter snow. Yeah, because I want to use it on quite a few layouts. It is a very small jar, but I think it's going to go for a lot of layouts. If you leave a comment down there below, I'll try to get back with you. And if you like the video and hit a thumbs up, I'd appreciate it. And if you are not subscribed to my channel, I would love to have you subscribe. And those of you already are, thank you so very much. And thank you all so much for watching my video today. I know you could be watching others. I really appreciate that you are watching mine. Have a happy scrappy week. Have fun checking the links out down there below and see what they create, and maybe you will get a few ideas from all of us. Have a happy scrappy week. Bye.